I'll make any change. Now listen, you. I'm warning you. No change. I've still got the same house. The same...
You know, when you're somebody like me who constantly struggles with indecisiveness and wanting to make new layouts or do new things, miniatures or dioramas can really come in handy, and, well, ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you Kato has our back with that? And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Yes, all thanks to my good friend Joel, we have 2 of the Kato mini diorama circus kits, or I guess just mini Kato diorama, you get what I'm saying. They're called the mini diorama circus, but we'll get to that here shortly. Okay, so as you see here, these kits come in 2 main bags, or components, I guess. There's one that builds the stand and has the track, and another that has the detail, but we're going to get to detailing and stuff like that again later in the video. So again, inside of this, not only do you get the track and the wood pieces to build the diorama, but also a miniature booklet, and this kinda explains why this is called the mini diorama circus. Pretty much the point of these things is multiple people get together, combine them, and then you make a circus or a little diorama circus with a bunch of different things in different scenarios. And I have to be honest, I think this booklet is not only adorable, I really like the fox characters and other things they've added, but it's also a great idea. It encourages beginners and people who may not be as acquainted with model trains to give it a shot, explains the things you need to look out for, like track clearances, and tells you to not take it too seriously, because again, this is meant to be fun, and it's just an idea I really appreciate. That's something I think we need more of as a whole in model trains. Alright, that aside, let's get to actually putting the thing together, and again, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with how this is. It was a little confusing at first. I can't say these instructions make the most sense when you look at them, but when you get an idea of what you're doing, it's pretty simple, you know? Quick note, the screws we saw earlier are for the track, so make sure you hold on to those. And once that's complete, you not only have the stand, but 2 little extensions or pillars. And these are for normal Kato track if you plan to extend out of this or put this into a smaller layout. You get a small wooden buffer stop to keep the wagons and trains from falling off the diorama. You even get a small wooden track gauger, but I should note there were also these 2 little hook pieces, and I'm not really sure what these go to or what they do. Now, maybe these combine 2 dioramas together, or I just completely missed something in the instructions, but yeah, there's that too. And now, ladies and gentlemen, comes the fun part, or the part that doesn't really need as much explaining. It's kind of just detailing and making these little dioramas what you want them to be. Now, it just so happens I have a lot of model lights, so I'm kind of going to use that for my landscaping or making mountains, hills, things like that on these dioramas. Oh yeah, I have 2. I have a straight and a curve one, which you'll see the curve later in the video. Right now, the game plan is make the curve a Boulder mountain and the straight kind of like a Christmassy or maybe just a snowy scene. I've not really done anything for Christmas in a while, so there we go. We're going to do that now too. And overall, these are processes you guys have seen before. It's pretty much the same thing I do on layouts, but now I'm doing it a little bit smaller on dioramas, like I'm taking rocks and ballast, gluing that down to make a texture, and then I'll come back and paint that. And here we have bag number 2, which, again, was very surprising. I mean, not only do you get plenty of turf, you get a tiny tree, you even get a scenic cement dropper for adding that turf and gluing things down. And this is definitely something I'll use on the main layout, because this is just a very, very handy tool, trust me. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're pretty close to being done. Here is a Boulder Mountain as is. Now, sadly, I did have a little bit of black paint leak onto the track, so I'm planning on getting some ballast or using some ballast to hide that here in the future. I also used a capsule boulder that I repainted the exact same way I did the mountains and used that to blend it in a little bit more, and that sits on the top. Now, of course, that's not everything, but I feel like your eyes can tell what's going on here.
Alright, so here we are a few days later. As you can see there, we've got the Kato ballast finally drying here on this one, so once that's done, I think this one's ready to call complete. But what about this other one here, which you saw a little bit earlier? I don't really know. It's kind of just a Christmassy snow display, because I've not really done that in a long time, and it's December now, so little early Christmas thing, if you will. So as you can see, we have 3 deers. These ones are HO scale because that's the only thing I had, but they're also, I don't think they're too bad out of scale. I mean, they're Kato displays. You're just having fun here. It is what it is. Again, we got the buck there with the red nose. We got the doe sleeping under the big tree. And then we've got a little baby deer there in the, it's very small, sadly, but a deep creek, which it's getting a quick drink out of. And the track itself was painted. We got a lot of Woodland Scenics snow effect on this one. Yeah, it's kind of just meant to be one of the Christmas projects we're doing this December. Now, technically at this point, this is done, but I'm hoping to add one more detail, which will be this little engine lamp here at the top lit up. I have a couple LEDs, which will be very small, hopefully ran here through the bottom, and boom, this one will have a little bit of light and maybe just a little bit more life. But yeah, that'll be the final touch for that one. There's the Christmas display, and again, we've got Boulder Mountain. But of course, what's next, ladies and gentlemen, there's still 2, right? And they've arrived. They're right here. So what exactly will become of this new straight and curve pack? Well, for the second straight one here, I kind of wanted something that's almost tunnel-like, or something the trains pass through. So I recently printed this. We have a engine shed, which has been slightly modified by me, and this will be the main focus of this one, coming soon. What about the curve, though? You know, we've got all these things here which kind of make sense. They're all in somewhat of a sense of reality, if that makes any sense. I didn't want this one to be that same way. I kind of wanted it to be more unique, a little bit more fun. And that is where these will come in. We have a giant workman figure, as you can see there. We've got a table. We've got a little flower pot there. We've got, these are tiny flatbeds for the workmen to be playing with. We've got a tiny dresser to go off on the side, and let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here they are. Tiny little trains, which will also go on top of that table for the workmen to be playing with. The plan for this thing is this is sized right above where the engine shed is. I've been doing a little bit of work there, filing and sanding it down. This will be also a tunnel, or kind of just more like a giant table that the trains, or N-scale trains, pass under, kind of just like they're a larger scale of trains that this guy is playing with, almost like they're G-scale, and he's playing with his HO scale trains on the table. I don't know, I think that'll be a really, really cool project. So this guy is terrifying up close. Let me stop doing that. So pretty much at this point, what I'm saying is, there's a lot more work to do. I even have a new Kato compact set to put this all together, you know, so it can run in its own way and not be restricted. Pretty much just a whole unit. There's quite a bit to do here. So, well, let's get to that.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.